I was going to wear the t-shirt that my aunt brought me yesterday for the podcast, but when I tell you it's so tight, it is.
Are you sure it's not like a youth 3X?
It has to be, or like, but it's not women's cut, because that was my first thought. It was like, but then that's too big for me in a women's cut too. So I was like,
well,
I'm so confused.
And maybe, and if it were women's cut, you kind of got to hand it to your aunt.
Yeah, she said I bought it from Walmart. It feels to me, you know how like, well, I don't know. I've searched for things not to buy from Walmart, but like sometimes I'll search for something and Walmart will show up as an option when I Google it. And I'm like, I'm thinking it's some drop shipper thing that's selling through Walmart's website.
That's what they do a lot. Yeah, because you can get like a Louis Vuitton Neverfull through Walmart online.
And so I think that's where these came from. So I think this is Asian sizing. So they're just baby. They're like, and I was like, I'm so fat in Asian sizing.
Even I am. For real. No, I'm either fat or I'm like wildly tall. Like I bought I bought like a pajama set and I had to cut them into shorts because I was like walking around looking like a little leprechaun, you know?
Just like flood pants.
And they had like the little rings at the bottom, you know, to be like normal sweatpants. And so they're like under my knees and I'm just like, oh, me Lucky Charms. I'm Irish. I can say that.
Not you quantifying it. If I knew how to speak Welsh, it's over for all of you.
It's over for y'all bitches. I did go to the doctor today.
What's wrong with your rib?
Muscle relaxers for my rib. He doesn't know. Ow!
Oh, khaki.
And I kept telling him, I was like, I have to record a podcast today, and I just laughed the whole time. It's gonna be
And also, you told me that what everyone sent in was so funny. So we're just doomed. You're doomed.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, okay. So, hi y'all, welcome to the podcast. Officially, our first week officially is Dumb Bitch Hour. Pew, pew, pew. This week, I had the idea to go on my Instagram stories and ask y'all. Because when I have a new friendship, I like finding out what people's deep pockets of knowledge are. Like, I found out that, like, one of my good friends, like, spent a summer when he came out, like, spent a summer going and being, like, a camp counselor out in California to just kind of, like, clear his head or whatever. And so he knows all of these, like, migration patterns and, like, what you can eat in the woods and stuff, but he, like, works for Facebook. So it's, like, just, you know what I mean? Just, like, awesomely random that he just, like, knows all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And so, like, that's my favorite thing to find out about people. But we went the opposite direction in this case, and we said, what is your cavity of knowledge? What is the absolute empty abyss of knowledge in your brain that is not going to get better? What are you a bimbo about? Because it's like, we all have them. Just as much as we have our inclinations and our things that we're naturally good at, we have the things that we are never going to put forth the energy to engage with and actually learn. Like, it just, like, for me, I passed chemistry in high school after trying to drop the class, and the guy was just such a jerk and wouldn't let me drop it. I passed chemistry because of one person whose name is Tate Pollard. We can block his name out if you want, but I just want to thank Tate Pollard because what?
I think we normally bleep out when we say something incriminating, but it sounds like Tate did you
This is not going to be incriminating. No, he was my savior because, okay. And I mean, in high school, everybody is a certain thing, right? And he was like a total know-it-all nerd, right? And so like, I would be like, hey, Tate, I don't understand the answer to so-and-so, or like, I don't know how to get to this answer. And this is chemistry because it's like all in moles and stuff. You know what I mean? And his favorite thing to do would go, try that again. His favorite thing to do was go, you don't understand it? And I'm just like, nope, dummy dum-dum. And he would just tell me the answer and explain the whole thing to me. And I was like, I tuned out by the time he was explaining to me why. I just wrote the answer down. And that's how I passed chemistry. Thanks, Tate.
Honestly, slay. But I have been on the other side, but also stupid. So I took trigonometry in high school, and what the teacher said to do is what I would do. So I did great. Yeah. I don't understand trigonometry. I was following along. Do you know, like, so it was like,
yes,
you do the thing and then it will lead you to this other thing. And so that's how my brain works, but that's not how everyone else's brain works, you know? So they're like, Tom, can you explain to me? I was like, literally, no, because I don't know what I'm doing. That's what he said to do. And so I don't question it. I just do it. This is me taking things at face value. I was like, that's trigonometry, I guess.
Yes,
can I do trigonometry today? No, I don't remember a goddamn thing.
And Trig required you to have one of those calculators,
Yeah,
one of
it
those
did.
like fancy graphing calculators.
It
So like,
did.
why in the heck would I need to know how to sine, cosine, tangent? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, why would I need to know that? I can use that thing on the SAT.
Right.
And so it's like, no, do I need to apply that to physics and spatial reasoning? No.
No. God, no. Have I applied reason ever in my life? No.
Not if I can help it.
I try really hard not
I
to.
avoid it at all costs.
I use reason more for helping other people than I do for myself. That's actually the truth.
That's so true. You're like in a conversation. It's like those memes where you're like in
Yeah.
a conversation with your friend and you're like, no, absolutely. Like, here's all these reasons that you're amazing and that your situation makes sense and blah, blah, blah. And you were being a completely reasonable person. And then like it happens to me and I'm just like, well, I'm clearly insane and everyone knows it. You know what I mean? Like I can't therapize myself. I can't reverse it.
I'm here to do it for you. I'm here to help.
Yes.
I'm here to walk
I have such great friends who are just like, remember how amazing you are. Have a great day. And I'm just like, thank God. Because my face is a different color than my chest right now. And I just,
It's a time.
it's tough times out here.
My personal deep pocket of not knowing and my lack of desire to know. And this is going to sound like very unreasonable. It's lawn work.
But you do lawn work.
I push a lawnmower that's on.
Do you want to know
And then
something about
when-
me? I've never mowed one. Never mowed a lawn.
And good for you. I'm not
I know, princess.
I do it just so that no one complains, but we do have weeds that are growing like tree trunks out of our yard right now. Why? Because I don't know how weed whackers work. I know there's a wire that spins out of it. And it spins really fast, but I break them, and then I don't know where the wire has gone, and I don't know how to get more, and I just
You don't know how to get more. There's a spool inside.
Is there? But why did it break so easy? I literally will turn it on. It will break the first weed I try to whack with it. And I'm like,
Well, it's not the size of a tree trunk, stop.
well, then I don't know what to do. And then you might say, maybe you should look up things to kill the weeds. And I don't know what to do.
Don't do that, because that's what I'm allergic to. Is all these people putting their Roundup on their stuff? That's like I can't. That's why
I was gonna
have
type
stomach
in
issues.
"good for the earth" weed spray
For the earth. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I
But
like
I'm
that,
not,
regardless.
because
Right.
I'm just gonna have weeds in my lawn.
Right. I really apologize to people watching the video. I am like a booger factory.
But I don't care. I don't ever look at someone else's lawn and go, they need to do something about that. So if someone's doing it to me, I'll just be like, guess what? I don't care about your lawn.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. I'm so not that person. Like, and there's so many things in my life that are like that where I'm like, I wasn't judging. And my ex would he was a Taurus, and he would come to me with all these things like, well, don't you think da da da? And I'm like, you have hard and fast opinions on things I have never thought about in my life.
Okay. So now sometimes those do come up and I do have very strong opinions about them. And I'm always, what?
Do tell.
Like, so one time someone very casually, and like, again, it was low stakes. We weren't talking about anything, nothing political was being brought up, but someone like mentioned Alton Brown, and they're like, what are your feelings on Alton Brown? Someone who I probably shouldn't have any opinion on. And I like talked for like 30 minutes about how much I hate Alton Brown. And he was like, I'm never asking you your opinions on a person again. I was like, I'll come up with one if I don't have one.
just Alton Brown. Yeah.
And I had a lot to say. It was built up in me. You know, I had spent years and years not actually verbalizing them.
Why? Because no one asked.
No one ever asked, and then someone did. I was like, well, actually, sit down for a second.
You're like, what? Settle in. This is my signal.
It was just
Me when anyone asks me anything about myself, I'm just like, oh, me.
Yeah, that same person asked me my thoughts on floral arrangements, and I went in. I never thought about floral arrangements before then. I was like, they're so stupid. Why do we do that? That's like the dumbest thing to do. Why the fuck would we ever cut up flowers and then just leave them somewhere to die? I don't understand.
Were you high?
No.
Like,
well, yeah, probably. But the thing is, when I'm high, I don't actually I'm like I regress into like nothingness when I'm high. Like I don't talk to people.
Sure.
I'm like you want
to go home in every sense.
Yeah. And so I'll send you So one time I was like falling asleep watching TikToks and I was high. I sent Tiffany a TikTok and I said, "I'm not awake," as if to send it to them. I was like, I wanted you to see this, but do not engage with me at this time.
That's the most high thing I've ever.
And they knew exactly what I meant. They knew that like I'm not supposed to text them back. And they didn't. They respected my boundary. I'm not awake. And don't worry, Kaki, it will happen. It will happen to you someday.
I love the range of Tom that I get, though. It's like everything from like, I just woke up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, to I just had pre-workout, to I'm high and I'm not awake.
I have levels. There's levels to me.
There are. Oh, I'm so proud to know you. It's so amazing. So I know I looked like I was distracted, but what I was doing was I was actually pulling up the prompt out of my archive here. Yeah, we got a lot of responses, and some of them are made me giggle so hard.
Okay.
And I want to thank y'all. If you are ever wanting to give feedback on these things, obviously there's always the prompt on both of our Patreons, but then keep an eye out on our Instagram stories. Cause like, you know, when I get a whim, I get a whim, you know?
Yeah. And that's how it happens.
I want to call out the thing that actually inspired this, because she did respond to the prompt. So I feel at liberty to disclose, because it's not like, you know, private personal. So the reason that I even had this idea is because my friend Natalie, her handle is My Skin Trust on Instagram. We recently met in person, and the things that I have come to know about her just through getting to know her online and voice memos, and also getting to,
voice memos.
Of course, voice memos. That is friendship.
That is friendship.
It
there's,
is.
There's no history. You can't.
There is that for sure. Yeah. Oh no, I sent my friend Hallie the most deranged voice memo. Like, I wish I could erase it from her memory yesterday. like it was like that like Charlie Day with the red strings on everything. Like, and I was like, she like didn't respond, and I'm like, we're just gonna let that one go anyway. So Natalie is a very accomplished person at a very young age. She's a political consultant. She knows so much about so much, and I'm just so impressed by her. She's also really confident, just like really sure of herself, and like very good at like negotiation and things like that. And I'm like, all right, you're an intimidating person. You're very impressive. What are your like, where are the black holes in your repertoire? Well, being around her for like a full weekend in DC, I found out she does not know how to drive, which plenty of people don't know how to drive, but she grew up in New York City. She doesn't cook. We've talked about wanting to have an adult nanny because last night she could tell I was on Klonopin because because I said that I didn't. She says, I just need you to take care of yourself. I said, I don't want to take care of myself. I want to be an animal in a terrarium and have someone else keep me alive. She's like, you should take some more Klonopin. Anyway, she's never been to a Walmart or a Target or like any of those box stores or anything, because she grew up like on like a bougie end of like Martha's Vineyard or something. Like, just finding out that like this, you know, this person just has like these things that she just completely has not, like, she doesn't understand what a Walmart. I mean, she understands what a Walmart is, but she's like never experienced a Walmart.
And
like,
you know what? God bless her. I hope she never does.
Right? Exactly. And that's
I
like
wish I hadn't. It's been a decade, but like I wish I had never. You know, I wish I hadn't.
Exactly. So, and let me tell you, if Target is out there doing a bad job of being an ally, Walmart is out there doing a good job of not being an ally. Because we got one in my neighborhood. I go in there and I'm like, dang, you put that on a shirt? Like,
I mean, they also have those shirts that my aunt bought from China, probably.
Yes, that's true. Online.
Right.
Online.
Of course. Yeah. Right. She had to wait for them to deliver. She said it took weeks. And I was like, from Walmart?
Yeah, from Walmart, China.
Yeah. some company. Some random company. Not to diss anything that comes from China, obviously.
No, it's just far away.
Yeah, it's just far away.
It's just far. So yeah, that was what kind of made this spring to mind, but I have to admit, some of these are just so epic, and I think they're going to be great jumping off points. So, there are so many. There are so many.
I love the honesty.
Me too. Okay, so I think that my favorite one that came in early on was, they just said thermostats.
Okay, that is fair, because I have seen some really smart people be completely unable to use a thermostat. myself included, I understand the one I have now, but the one I had before, we had to change it. We had to change it because we wouldn't gonna work the one. We had to change it because we had a Nest that was like in this house when we moved in, and like we programmed it and it like just didn't listen to us. Like it would like do its own thing, even though we like both had the app and we both like set it to be like it would kick on whenever we were on our way from home from work. Like, you know, it was like set up to do that.
Yeah.
It just either
it's trying to do like machine learning or something, isn't it? Isn't it like AI or something?
I think it can do that, but you can also schedule it. Like if you have a set schedule, like let you work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, you might have the air go warmer in the summer when you're not at home, and then it kicks up higher when you're on your way home. So by the time you get home, it's like a better temperature.
Sure.
So that's what we were trying to do. It's like to save energy. And yet it was either always on full blast or it just like wasn't on. We could not figure it out. And so then we got a new thermostat. And whenever it was installed, we got also a new heater. So the man who was installing the heater was like, "Can I show you how to use a thermostat?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "Please show me how to use the thermostat." And then he showed me, and I tried showing my brother, and my brother could never figure out the new thermostat. So
well, but like, do you understand how a thermostat functions though? Because I'm pretty sure that this person meant that
what do you just in general? Like, I'm hot, I need it to be cold, I go to the thermostat and it turns on my air conditioning, or vice versa. I'm cold, I need the heat on, I go to the thermostat, I turn it on, it gives me heat.
Right, but okay, so let's say it's really, really hot. Like it's not been running or whatever.
Yeah.
And you want it to be cold really fast. Do you turn it down further?
No.
Correct.
No, because it's just gonna cost a lot of money to.
No, that's not why.
That's why that's why I wouldn't do that. I would be like, we're gonna start with like a 5-degree difference.
Okay, so
is that gonna break it?
Is this horrible? Yes. Is it? Okay, I need to give some context here where I'm going to be kind of a know-it-all, and that is that my dad is a general contractor. Yeah, just this time. Well, it's either know-it-all or know nothing. But my dad's a general contractor, so I am handy. There are some people who have submitted that they just like don't know how to be handy, and like I'm extraordinarily handy. I installed our digital thermostat and like had to like rewire our heater to work with it and stuff like that, like our like actual heating unit. I just followed like a tutorial on YouTube to do it. Like it only has cold and hot. It doesn't have a temperature of air that it blows. Maybe in your car it does, but in your house it doesn't. It's only going to blow cold air until your house meets
the
temperature, and then it's going to turn off. And then as soon as it gets above that temperature again, it's going to turn back on, and then it's going to turn off. It's not a temperature of, I mean, it is a temperature of air, but it's only one temperature of air.
Yeah, it's just cold until it hits the cold that you want it to be.
And so if you turn it on, especially, this was something that I experienced at like jobs that I had. You know, people didn't understand how to work a thermostat, and they'd be like, "It's hot in here," and they'd turn it down to 59.
So it would just blow cold air for a really long time.
It would completely overload the system. It would make it work too hard for too long, and it would freeze the whole system. And you would have to call a repairman because there'd be like an ice block in the air conditioner.
We did that when I used to work at European Wax Center. They did because this was even worse. Each room had its own thermostat, and so there was multiple cooling units because if it gets too hot, they would use hard wax. The hard wax doesn't set, so
got it.
That was why sense. But the thing is, they all had to be like, if it was cold out, they all had to be in the heating. And if it was hot out, they all had to be in cool, but they would fuck with that, and then it would.
Yeah, of course, yeah, because people just think they're just like, well, whatever. I think body temperature is one of the most like the things that people are most unabashedly selfish about. Like if you're uncomfortable, it's just like I don't really care what everybody else thinks. Like it can be a war zone in like an office or something like that. Like if you know what I mean, people disagreeing on body temperature.
I would rather have to have a cardigan on than be hot.
Same.
I don't want to be hot.
Yeah.
And the last office I worked in, it was the air stopped working in the summertime, and we were right in front of this huge window, and for most of the day the sun was on our side of the office, and I just was like, how do you want me to look professional?
I'm essentially working outside.
This is like awful.
And we don't have to touch on it for too long because this person is not actually, this isn't a read. This is just their answer. Christianity, I know who Jesus is, and that's about it.
And
I kind of love that for you.
yeah, I wish I knew less.
Right. I know so much.
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st Kings, 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah. And I don't remember anything after Nehemiah, but...
We believe in one God, the Father, the Almighty, the creator of heaven and earth, of all that is seen and unseen. We believe
were you
in one
raised
Lord
Catholic?
Jesus Christ. Yes.
Oh, I wasn't raised Catholic. I was raised non-denominational, so I have fun songs.
Yeah,
That's how
my husband and I first related over the Nicene Creed.
I don't even know what that is.
That was what I was just reciting.
Ah.
Okay, somebody submitted a lot of them. Like multiple.
I love that. That's me. It wasn't even me, but it should have been me.
I once told my dad I thought pumping gas was watering my car. Like, I don't even know where to begin with that one.
I love the smell of gasoline.
Me too.
What is that about?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to pump your own gas in your state. You can't. You're not allowed.
Not allowed to. I have to be a princess.
That's
Can't touch
wild.
it. Can't touch it. No, that's dirty. My Magic Emily says, all sports, but specifically football. I stare at the TV, literally zero idea what's going on. Smooth brain. Smooth brain has got to be one of my favorite expressions. It's what I call my dog.
Yes. That's what I mean. All dogs, smooth brain.
Smooth brain.
Yeah, all
Smooth
dogs.
brain.
Here's a fun tip, because I don't know how a lot of sports work either. But sometimes you find yourself in a situation where you're at an event and that's happening. And what you
this
do...
from the person who said that they didn't want to come up with an impressive film to impress a film buff. You're like, well, but sometimes you end up in a sporting situation.
I'm just going to tell you how to get through it, not how to understand it.
Right.
When the people that are wearing the colors of the team that you're supposed to be rooting for cheer, you just cheer. When they start booing, you boo. Do you know why? No. And you don't need to. You just got to get into it. And if you're a drinker, you just drink. That's what you do. And then just enjoy what's the nonsense happening. There's always nonsense to be seen in these situations.
So, I also have to call Tom out on something, and that was that when I had just poured my guts out onto my canvases that I was doing my paintings earlier this week, Tom goes, how very Pittsburgh. I'm turning my camera around so you can see it.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Fuck you, Tomothy.
I think that was a close friends moment too. It was like you posted them on your close friends before you posted them for other people to see, and I just said, "How very Yinzer," just like how very.
No, and then when I posted the public story about how I was like, I've had a bad day. I've been spending my day doing things that could be in an email, and my eye exploded this morning. I almost said, and Tomothy said that my painting looks like a Steelers painting.
You could have. I like how you reserve calling me out when you really don't need to.
Really?
You'll be like, it's fine. Can I post this like really stupid thing? You said, I'm like, yes, of course. And, like, the answer has never been no.
Sometimes it's not stupid. Sometimes it's brilliant. Like talking about how you went to the the committee.
Yeah, I went to the committee.
And asked if they thought that it was a cool idea to use the royal we.
Yeah,
and
confirmed.
then it was like the verdict was
yes, we are the royal we.
I love it so much. I was like, wait, is this something? Is this anything?
That's one of my favorite things when someone like goes on a thought tangent and then they end there with like, did I land on anything? Me going through my editing, just like, did I land? Do we say
mascara? Did I land that?
That's how that should be my sign up. Was that anything? And then cut
I don't know. Is this anything? All my short form content. I'm just like, I don't know. Is this anything?
Here's a lipstick. 70 lipsticks. All the lipsticks. Please look at them.
I just swatch them all over my face. I was like, is this anything? I don't know.
I love the thumbnails where you do this face swatches. Because it is absolutely the most unhinged thing. Like, it's so helpful. It's so helpful. But like you see it pop up and you're like, what the fuck is Khaki doing today? It's like the wildest shit to see in your feed. And I know that people who know you and know what it is, they're very excited when they see it. But like when you're unawares, because I think the first time you ever did it, it's like an older video. You did it. You posted the thumbnail in black and white, so it was like, what is going on? Like, what is she doing? It's unhinged. I love it.
Every time I get through with one of those videos, I go, "This is my job. I look like a ding dong. This is my job." And people are like, literally, it is the most unanimously positive comment section on those videos. They're like, "This was so helpful." And I'm like, "You know, what?"
Meanwhile, I refuse to do face watch comparisons ever. I won't.
You also don't have like a swelling collection like I have. We've got math, we've got directions, we've got geography. Like, those are big ones, obviously. I mean, we've talked about my geography issues.
Yeah. I don't know if this is something that I heard from a woman. She claimed that like women are more bad with directions. Like, there's something about spatial recognition that like women don't have as strong as men. I don't know. Listen, I'm not saying that is truthful. It's a thing that I have heard. But when I tell you this same friend, when we're in Chicago, I'm like, if the lake is on your right, you're going north.
Yeah.
If the lake is on your left, you're going south. If the lake is behind you, you're going west. And if you're walking towards the lake, you're going east. Because she kept getting confused with which way we were headed, because like all the streets are like east, west, north, south.
Yes.
And she was just like, I don't know. And we would get turned around and I'd be like, oh, there's the lake. We need to go this way. And she'd be like, how? It's just like, it's all Chicago's on one side of the lake. There's no surprises. It's gonna be there every time.
I think I could probably do that, because I am like, I was trying to be discreet today. I had to see a different doctor, and so I was in a different like exam room than I typically am. And I walked out, and then I really threw myself off because I had to give a urine sample because they're checking me for a kidney stone. And so
we talked about those before too.
Yeah, except I couldn't remember the word kidney. All the comments were like, kidney!
Gallstone? Gallstone.
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 Buttstone. I walk out and I do this, what I think is a very discreet assessment of my surroundings. And somebody goes, "Are you trying to get out?" And I'm like, damn it. They saw me. Yes, I don't know where I am. And they're like, that way. And I'm just like, I think I can get lost anywhere. It always reminds me of that line from The Good Place where Chidi says, "I have something called directional insanity. I once got lost on an escalator." But Austin, I was able to do Austin. I lived with a friend of mine when I first moved there, and he was so good. I mean, he explained to me how the numbers on the streets worked. And that just went in one ear and right out the other. There was nothing to catch it. I was like, that's neat, Josh. Thanks. But understanding that, like, if I was lost, which came up a lot, I could look for the skyline, pretty much figure out which way I was going. It was like, all right, well, haven't seen the skyline in a while. Let's stop and look around.
There are ways around it. You just have to figure out what the thing is.
Well, and two, I did a lot of Irish goodbyes when I was living in Austin. And so I'd be downtown, and I lived on East 3rd Street. And that's really not that far if you're running in vintage boots. So I would just be like, I'm too drunk, and I just book it home.
It's always a run.
Oh yeah.
No one ever Irish goodbyes silently and sleuthly.
No.
Like it's like you get out the door, which you have done silently, and you're like, now I need to run at full speed, so I am not here anymore.
I do have to say, and this is a bit of a tangent that I'm not sure anybody's going to be able to relate to, but more times than I would probably like to admit, I have run drunk. And running drunk is kind of thrilling.
The sensation of it.
Right.
There's a lot happening.
There is, and everything just kind of doesn't feel. You're just like, whee!
And everything's just blurry, so it feels like you're running way faster than you are.
Yeah! And then you get home and you're like, wow, how did that happen? That was a phenomenon that we discovered when I was living in Amsterdam for my study abroad. We were like, dude, if you smoke, you can like set a goal, and then like an hour later, you're like, whoa, we never did that thing. And then like, if you're drunk in a group of people, you're like, you know what would be cool? And then all of a sudden you've been downstairs to the grocery store, you've boiled the eggs, you've combined the ingredients, and you're all eating egg salad. There's something wildly efficient about like the time collapse of being drunk and like your ability to like execute on it, you know what I mean? Especially if there's no friction. Like we literally lived over the grocery store. So it's just like, and we had Heinekens. Like it was just, there was, suddenly we had egg salad. It was great. It was a very good use of drunk.
Productive drunk is, it is, you're right. Time doesn't work the same when you're drunk.
No,
so all of a sudden you have cheesecake.
Yeah.
And cheesecake takes forever to make in case you've never made.
Right. And you know what? You might have decided amongst yourselves in probably what felt like 3 seconds flat that it was better to go buy it than to make it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're also really decisive when you're drunk.
Yeah, and then you also say things that aren't true, which is like what I do.
I just invite everyone to my house.
I watched other people do that. Drunk me was like, not that. No.
I'm like, my friends, come to my house. I have more alcohol. And then I get there and I'm like, you can have the alcohol. I'm good. But yeah, I'm definitely the person who's like just not wants to keep the party going, but I like want to keep my friends around. I'm like, don't leave.
Yeah, and I don't know what age you did all of this, but like when you're younger-ish, when you're in your 20s, that feels like the move where you're like, right. I have a new friend. We were friends when we were drunk. The amount of people that I randomly follow on Instagram that I couldn't tell you the night that I met them, but I'm sure that it was in a drunken stupor, you know? Sure. And I'm just like, why are we following each other? Like, why are we?
Oh yeah, no. Did I ever tell you or the podcast about my final exam and my neighbor who was always trying to get me to come over in college?
No.
Okay, so I had this neighbor, his name was Colin. I was gonna say he remained a name. I don't know his last name. His name was Colin. And I went to Florida State, and the art program there is fantastic with brilliant people, but also we are not and I'm sure that a lot of majors are like this, but we are not a particularly high decorum kind of bunch. You know what I mean? We're not necessarily showing up to class 100% sober all the time, especially because class was not most of the time on campus, because I was in the BFA program and we did a lot of our stuff in the BFA warehouse. Off campus meant no rules. I had this like final presentation that I had to do to show up for or whatever. I had basically we were, this far from graduating, and I didn't go to my own graduation. I just packed my car and moved to Austin. I had this neighbor that lived next door to me for, I don't know, like a year or so. Like he moved in, he was younger, and he had a couple of roommates, I want to say, but it was pretty adorable. He would come over and knock on my door, and he's like, my band is practicing. Do you want to come watch? And I'm just like, no, Colin, leave me alone. Because I was such a prick. And I also was a major prick about music. So I was like, I'm sure their music isn't even good, kind of thing. It's the last day, and I'm, I have all my stuff ready. I have my painting ready and everything. And I know that I'm going to just go see all my friends at my, my final review. And I'm walking out, I'm unloading a bunch of crap into the dumpster because I'm about to move. And there's Colin, because we live in townhouses, and so he's just over a railing. We basically share a deck. And he goes, hey, Khaki, do you want a burger? And I was like, sure, Colin, I'll have a burger. And he's got a couple of friends over that I very soon after added on Facebook, that when something pops up from someone I don't know, I'm like, oh, those must be Colin's friends, even if they're not. I don't know. And then he goes, well, do you want cheese? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, do you want bacon? And I was like, yeah. Colin knows how to party. All right, let's go. And so next thing I know, I'm over there. I'm eating a bacon cheeseburger with his friends, talking to his friends and everything. And it was a perfect combination of all of my natural proclivities when I'm, having a beer, because he had Modelo, which I'm a huge Modelo fan. And so we're I think I still have a picture of me from this moment where I'm holding a Modelo and a margarita. So he goes, I've got margarita mix. I'm thinking of making margaritas. And I was like, I have tequila in my freezer, because I always had tequila in my freezer. And it was nice tequila. I think it was Patron. And, nice for the time. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, just go over there and grab it or whatever. And so the next thing I know, because time collapsed, I just have a strawberry margarita in a mason jar in one hand and a Modelo in the other hand. And I'm having the time of my life. And then I realize I have to go to my final review. And I go, and I pour my Modelo into my strawberry margarita. I grab my painting, I get in my Volvo, and I drive to campus, to the theater, to the theater where we had our final review. And you know what happened when I walked in?
What?
All my friends and my professor were like, "What you drinking?" And I was like, "It's a strawberry margarita with a Modelo in it." And they're like, "I want to try that." And like everybody was, and I got up there and I kind of did my review pretty drunk. And like that was kind of the essence of my college experience. Like that's the cherry on top. Like that's pretty much what it was like being an art major at Florida State for me in the BFA program. And like I got an education, I did, but it was just so casual. And that was just like one of my like, yeah, sure. And look at what we can accomplish when we're drunk kind of moments, you know? Beautiful.
Drink responsibly.
I lived very close to campus.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, I feel like let us all not say that we don't need to do everything in our lives drunk because it's a more fun experience.
Certainly not now. No, I was 22. Like, that's just, I wouldn't do that now. There's just 36, the alcohol hits different, man. No.
I did take mojitos to my metaphysics class in a tumbler.
Right.
I hated it. And I was like, I'm only going to get through this if I'm tipsy.
Fantastic.
Metaphysics. I had to take, what is it, philosophy? I had to take a philosophy course and I got put into metaphysics. It wasn't like a class that I
what did you
chose.
major in?
At the time I was a PR major, but the school required a philosophy credit for like any undergrad. Like it was like what part of the core curriculum.
That's
and I walked into that first class and the teacher was like, "If we're not in the hallway, does the hallway exist?" And I'm like, "Yes." Yeah, exactly. That was exactly my
response. For those listening, I'm flipping two birds one hand.
Yeah, I was immediately like, oh, I'm not gonna like this class.
Bye. I gotta go.
I did get an A on my final paper because it was like, does God exist? And that was what I had to argue, was whether or not God existed. I argued no, just for anyone curious.
No, my friend only uses Schrodinger's cat as like the example for everything, and so like it's just stuck in my brain now. It's like it's Schrodinger's hall. If you can't see it, then maybe you know what I mean. So yeah,
we also like at one point we're discussing that if we were all existing in someone's dream, and that person were to wake up, would we all cease to exist?
Who cares?
That was it. That was it. There was like, I also did. It was a religious school, so I had to take like a couple theology courses too. But those were much more. How did you
find yourself here?
I wanted to be in Chicago, and they gave me the most money of all the schools in Chicago. So that was why I ended up there. Loyola University Chicago. I salute you. But
which one?
Loyola University.
They're religious?
It's very lately. It's not like it's. I didn't have to go to church or like there was no that there was just like you had to take 2 religion based classes, but I took like introduction to like a different religion. Like it wasn't like a Christian religion. I was just like taking things that I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, Florida State required football credits.
Football?
I'm kidding.
Oh.
You had to learn how football works because that's the only thing that they care about.
Well, Emily's screwed. Emily, don't go there.
Sorry about Emily.
I'm sipping on my pre-workout, everyone, so I'm just...
Hey!
This is me trying to get all the powder combined.
I've been living in New Mexico for 2 years and I still mix it up with Arizona.
Where do you live? Somewhere down there?
Not so much here or here.
I wonder what part of New Mexico, because that's a big state. Those are both real. That's a lot of landmass to not know where you are in all of that.
Oh, I love it. Oh, goodness. There's a lot of like social cues and sarcasm, and I mean that falls into like spectrum, neurodivergence. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and try and like
diagnose
anybody with that. Exactly. Yeah. So someone said, fucking magnets, how do they work?
There's a North Pole and there's a South Pole. Something to do with those.
Right, okay. I thought you were going to, like, really give us something there.
And if, for whatever reason, the North Pole has a strong enough pull that if you hold a compass, it knows. And I couldn't explain. I was a Boy Scout. Again, let us not forget.
See, and that's a pocket of knowledge. Like that's the kind of stuff where it's like, I don't think of you now as a future version of a Boy Scout, and therefore finding out that you're a Boy Scout makes me want to ask more questions.
You are anytime welcome to ask more questions. I camped a lot, even outside of Boy Scouts growing up.
That's surprising.
I don't know that it was on my free will. I think once I had free will, that's when it all stopped. I was like,
my parents always took us camping too. And I have always been kind of like a Cher Horowitz indoor kid. You know, like I do like to go to pretty places, but I'm just like, this was nice. Can we go to the lodge? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you now.
Yeah. Oh, here's one that's me. That like every single time I have to approach this situation, it is as if it is brand new information to me, and that is the rules of poker.
Oh.
My friend Simbri and her whole family have gotten really into poker, and they're really, really good at it, really passionate about it. I'm telling you, I feel like such a
ding-dong. Are they playing
dog.
regular poker, or are they playing Texas Hold'em? You're like, I've already lost the plot, Tom. What are you asking me this for?
Lost the plot so hard. The only thing I know is the 21 thing.
Blackjack?
The blackjack thing. But is that
like,
blackjack poker?
Because the rules of Texas Hold'em are like relatively close to the rules of regular poker. It's just that some of the cards are like communal. Okay. Anyway, don't worry about it. Just I can't
play Yahtzee like it's my job, so I understand the hands.
See, I don't know what beats what. And like I know sort of like if there's two pair and someone has a higher set of two pairs than my two pairs, they win.
Yeah.
But then when you start getting into like straight flushes and full flush, like I'm like I don't know why. I know that a royal flush is the best.
I know that if Simbri listens to this, she's going to be like, I'm putting you on a plane to Las Vegas with me. Like, although that's not what her voice sounds like. But,
I would want to bet on the fake horses because they do have like a fake horse. I want to do that. I've never been to Vegas, but that's where I'm headed. Once I go to Vegas, that's what I want to do.
Take me to the fake horses. Thank you.
I would enter a casino so fast and be like, where are the fake horses that race? That's what I would like to see.
Have you ever been in a casino?
Yeah, I went one time. One time when I turned 21. And then another time to pee. We have a couple casinos in Pittsburgh. So there's like one that's downtown, and then there's like a couple in the suburbs.
So I lived in Kansas City for 1 year, and they have a law in Missouri that you can have casinos, but they have to be riverboats. And so there'll be buildings that just have a hose that's running water on the side of the building. And that pretty much sets the tone for the vibe there, you know?
I don't know what to do with this information. I was like expecting there just to be like you have to be in the casino for so many hours before it comes back so you can get off before it don't. No, you're just like, there's hoses that come out of them. There's
hoses on the side that's like, it's a riverboat. I went in one time and I played the penny slots and I won like $15 and then I lost it all on some more penny slots. It was wild. That's all I've done too. Night. Yeah.
Penny slot. And I lost it I lost $20 so fast I said, oh, why do people do this? That was like my immediate thought was like, I don't understand why people do this.
I'd rather go to Dave & Buster's where I know I'm going to lose my money.
And at least like the games are more fun.
Yeah. Whenever, and I might get to use some game out of it, you know? Slots.
Let me posit a theory. Maybe old people like slots because they're a little nerd. Like there's a lot. There's if you have a bad attention span, slots. There's just lights, arrows, things flashing.
Oh no, it's a cat toy.
It is, and I'm like, it's like you won. I was like, I don't even know how. Like, I don't even know what happened in order to. You were like grand max, and I won $5, only $5. But it's just like, how? What did I do? What did you show me that should make my brain go good? Because the same thing seemed to happen for good and bad, and I could not discern what was happening. So you know what? Add slots to things that I don't understand. I have zero concept of. I don't understand them.
That's what we should like. All things should be like, hey, I don't get this. Can you make this a slot machine for me? Because that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I think it makes that much and that little sense to me. Like, could you like hey, Khaki, we're booking like train tickets. Like, what do you know what I mean? Or like, I don't know. Can you make it a slot machine? That would be so helpful.
Pull a lever and tell me if I win?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
do not have them? Do I have the tickets or do I not?
I guess I'll walk away. Bye.
Let me call in to Taylor on the 10s. I understand Taylor on the 10s.
Y'all, the voice memos about the Taylor on the 10s, I was like, Tom, do you want to go to a Taylor Swift concert or do you just enjoy the game? Like, because literally I get a voice memo from Tom that's like, blah, 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 blah. Oop, my alarm's going off. Time for Taylor on the 10s.
I had to tell you because it was like, it cut me off in the middle of a sentence because my alarm went off. And I was like, it's Taylor on the 10s. It's Taylor on the 10s. And I was like, it's Taylor on the 10s. I gotta go. Gotta go listen to the radio. It's Taylor on the 10s.
I get it. You took something that could be pretty boring and you made it into a slot machine.
I did.
You know?
They're supposed to call people today. I don't know if I'm going to win, but I hope I do.
Everybody cross your fingers.
Everyone, yeah, we'll know by the time this episode airs whether or not I have gone, so.
Oh, is it that soon?
It's Saturday. Yeah, it's on Saturday.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the other kind of arcade game that I like, because that's the topic of this episode, is
it's our podcast.
Do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
I am
Again,
obsessed.
we turned into so fast.
Since we're talking about me and things I like,
please tell me. I would love to know.
I love pinball. Pinball is my game. I love pinball so much. You can always get me excited about the flashing lights and the absolute chaotic nonsense of pinball table.
Is slot machines that requires a skill. Because
and I'm pretty okay at it.
I know the concept is keep the ball a-going.
Yep.
But how do I get... Lights are flashing, and then sometimes the ball will get stuck in a thing, and then a movie will play, and then it will shoot 7 more balls out at you, and you're like, I don't know what and it's like... Because it's like, they're always like themed to a thing. It's never just like pinball. It's like, exactly. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers pinball. Lord Zordon needs you to hit the blah, blah, and then you're Valka.
When I'm wildly rich, I'm going to have my own pinball arcade. And like, okay, so I have a friend who was in The Walking Dead, and I think that he might be in one of the Walking Dead pinball machines. I'm not sure. But
Does he have one?
No.
Oh.
But like, wouldn't that be neat if I could have a person I knew in a pinball machine?
If my voice, I would want the thing.
Right.
If my likeness was used, I would be like, I would like that. Give it to me.
Oh my God. What if we had someone like retrofit us a dumb bitch hour pinball table?
I can only imagine the expletives that come whenever you hit a bumper. Ah!
Yeah. Oh, but no, exactly. When it starts like playing like carnival music and like 10 balls shoot out and you're just like, oh hell yeah, I must have won something. And you don't win anything. That's the funny thing about pinball is like there's no tickets, there's no jackpot, there's no nothing. You're just like high score, IDK. I don't even know how to type in my initials on this thing. It's all about just like the thrill. And then there's like my dad introduces me to the idea that there's like you can hit it with your hip, and I'm like, why would I do that? It's already abject chaos. And like, when would I do that? And then they'll give you a tilt. If you kind of bump it too hard, then you get a tilt, and then you can't.
See, I've accidentally gotten a tilt, and I was like, I don't even know what I did. But my favorite thing to do at an arcade, now that we're talking about arcade games,
right?
I will love to try. I love to try playing the dancing games as if I think I'm gonna get good at them.
They're so hard.
They're so hard. I play them on medium and I do okay, but then of course some asshat that's like does this all day every day will like be holding the bars and their feet are just going. And I'm like, why do you need to do that? It's supposed to be
that's
fun.
like someone who shows up to karaoke and can sing. Like, go get a record deal.
Oh my God, I want someone to say that about me. Like, I want to go do karaoke.
You get up there, you sing My Heart Will Go On. They're like, go get a record deal.
Exactly. That's what I want. I don't know that I would choose My Heart Will Go On. I don't know that I'm Celine Dion good, but I could do, well, I just went to see Paramore and I was like, I can sing like that. My toxic trait is to see someone do something and I'm like, I could do that. I could do that just as good as
Oh, no. Me singing to Chinchilla in my car, and then, like, I sing Chinchilla in the shower, and I'm just like, say that again! I didn't quite hear you! I don't sound like her at all! I'm like, messed with the wrong bitch!
To be fair to you, that'd be a hard song to sing a cappella. Yeah, there's not a lot. There's a lot going on in that song.
Like
That's like trying to sing
really
sleigh
help.
bells in the shower.
Oh my god, that would be
Got
so
my
funny.
A machines on the table. Got my B machines in the drawer. Like,
Yeah.
That sounds like absolutely nothing. If there's no
You
music.
don't have someone hitting an accordion with a jackhammer. Because I swear that's what their percussion sounds like, is someone just like stomping on an accordion.
That is what it sounds like. It's just noise, and that's what I like about it.
Me too. I have some playlists. I have some playlists. We all know I have some playlists. But the one that I was painting to the other day is called Right in the Feels. And it like kicks off with Mitski and then just goes all the way into sleigh bells, like blue, whatever it is, Blue Trash Mattress Fire, which just like, I'm sitting there painting and I'm just like, yeah, I don't even know what I hate, but I hate it.
I cannot put sleigh bells on while I'm walking. Because I then start walking with too much purpose. Yeah, yeah, I'm like just like running basically, just like because like it's too much.
When I see those people who are grooving to what's going on in there, like when they're running or something,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's me. I'm not going to judge you at all. Like that's a vibe. Like my running mix was like Avicii and like Skrillex remixes of Avicii, and I was just like, like while I'm running, like yeah, it's like being drunk.
I don't what do people? I thought that's what you listen to when you run, like is like dance.
That and Countdown.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce, Countdown.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I will be singing and dancing the entire time while I'm running to Countdown. Like it's terrible.
Yeah.
Like it's really embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. Enjoy your life.
You know what? You're damn right.
Yeah,
I am so like I have been feeling overexposed lately, and I've been like judging myself. I'm just like I put sometimes the things I put on my stories, I'm just like no. You know what? Your asset is the fact that you're a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
Let them deal with it.
And that's what people like. And that's, I always get the most responses on my stories whenever I start letting my dumb thoughts come out my mouth. And not harmful thoughts. Those are different. Because sometimes I film something, I record something, and I'm like, that doesn't need to go to the story.
I've been taking a lot of stuff down lately just because I'm like, that didn't come out how I meant it.
Yeah.
That can be misconstrued. You know what I mean? And like,
But
it's not even like harmful. It just makes me sound like a dum-dum, you know?
I do stand by my question. Why is the flute the gay instrument? And you know what? Everyone who's responded to me has said, I agree. That doesn't make any sense. And I'm like,
I think that the other thing sometimes when I'm posting is I'm like, okay, where does this meme fall on the spectrum of I am unhinged and I want to share my humor with the masses? That's on one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is send it to Hindash because it's too deranged.
Why don't I get the deranged ones? I mean, I do. I get some of them.
You do.
I do.
You
get
do.
some of them.
And honestly, now that you've said that, I'll send them to you. But like,
well, because sometimes I get tagged in things, and I do appreciate when people tag me in things or send things. But like, I'm like, you're not going dark enough.
Right.
You're scratching the surface, and that's not where I'm at. I'm deep in the pits.
Exactly.
And
it's also, it needs to be like that one that I posted where it was like the one where the girl had the comment on her TikTok where the guy said like, I'm so pleased by how smooth the back of your head is. It makes me want to set a teacup on it like a table. And she just said, what? And I was like, I'm gonna die. It's the funniest thing I've seen.
Yeah, and like I think one of the first things that, because Kaki famously doesn't watch TikToks, but I was like, I'll send you the ones that like get me the most, and I sent her this one of this person talking about Olivia Rodrigo, and as he's about to shit talk, his nose starts bleeding, and I was like, this is what I want to be and he goes, never mind, she's great, I love her, I love Olivia Rodrigo.
No, he goes, there's no Illuminati, I love Olivia Rodrigo. And I've definitely like quoted it in a video since then when something terrible happened, and I was like, there's no Illuminati, I love Olivia Rodrigo. And I think only Tom got it.
I appreciate it. It's
but like the compliment of when I send something or when I receive a meme from someone, and truly Hindash only sends me just the most like quackadoodle ones, and I'm like, yes, you get me. He's like, thank you, no one else laughed, and I'm like, that's how you know.
Yeah.
That's how you know. Okay, so I got not demonetized, but someone reported me for saying bimbos for Christ.
Oh, but it was a week later, wasn't it? That was so
yes,
weird.
And I can't monetize my reels now because somebody
I thought real monetization was gone.
No, you can run ads now. Now you can have ads, but I can't because someone demonetized me for saying bimbos for Christ. And so I posted what I said was the medical term, the actual medical terminology, which where is it? Oh, this is my archive. That's why I can't see it. I stumbled on this and I'm gonna post this kind of bullshit all the time. Shrimp syndrome. Instead of brain, there's a shrimps. That's the medical term for being a bimbo. So
that's weird. And like that's a permanent? Just because you said it, or is that
shrimp syndrome? Yeah, it's
no. I meant the demonetization thing. Like, is that?
I've appealed it, and they're like, no. We looked at it, and you know what their excuse is? Their excuse is a lot of people get offended by a lot of different things.
Wait, a person sent this to you?
That's like actually in their like bylaws. It's like people get offended by a lot of things.
I like how Meta's direct response is like, people be offended though.
People be offended. They do be out here being offended. So, might want to be careful on that because like,
one time, like something from my close friends got reported like 6 months later, and I was like, how? Like how?
You've got a mole. You've got a traitor in the system. How many people are on close friends for you?
Only like a handful, not too many.
But like how many?
I would say between 15 and 20, maybe.
Yeah, I've got 20. I think I've got 20.
Yeah. I mostly have creators. I don't use my Instagram for personal reasons really much at all anymore. Like it's just like thoughts for everyone.
I don't have a Finsta or anything like that. I want to apologize to everyone who's watching this live and is just like totally creeped out by how much my nose is running. I'm terribly sorry. But yeah, I post on my private stories a lot because I'm self-conscious, I guess. I don't know. I'm just like, I only want people who get the joke to see the joke.
No, that makes sense. But normally my high thoughts make it to the, like if it is like as like this is too much for the regular feed, I was like, I will let all my other content creator friends know.
Right.
And then if I have like a content question that I don't need to directly ask someone, I will just put it on my close friends because it's like not like non-content creators. They don't want to see me going like, is anyone's YouTube being really weird today? Like it's like no one cares. Right. I just need to know immediately.
The best close friend stories are phytosurgeons, though.
I'm not. Wait, they use their business page. Close friends. I haven't.
It's everything from showing swatches
of like
of like stuff. Things that are not released, to like just Jason's musings, his just thoughts, and it's just fun. When I finally figured out that I was like on close friends, I was like, oh, I will always tune in to phytosurgeons, close friends, because it's just fun. It's funny.
I mean, I love when people utilize close friends in like.
You see that little green circle? It's heartwarming.
It depends on who it is, how I feel about it. Like if I find like if I didn't know I was like on there and I see the green circle for the first time, I'm like, what's this gonna be? Especially for like normie people, not so much for like content creator friends, but I'm like, right. What am I about to?
That doesn't happen to me very often. I don't think that there are people putting me on close friends.
My friend Kirsten one time was dating multiple people simultaneously, but she wasn't telling them.
Way to go, Kirsten.
What she would do is she would update you on the close friends, and there was crazy stuff happening with all of them. I started tipping. I Venmo'd money. I was like, keep it going. I'm like, this is my favorite thing that happens every day. Keep going. I was like, this is, if you ever start like a Patreon or OnlyFans for this, I will subscribe. This is content worth paying for.
So good. That is so good.
Like she found like a marriage certificate under the one man's bed while he was showering, and she was like whispering like under the bed. It was like the crazy. I was like, this is so wild.
Your friend is a hero and a legend.
She was putting in the work. That's why I was like, you deserve money. Like this is premium content. It's behind the close
paywall.
Friends. Yeah, but it needs to be behind a pay because I would pay.
Awesome. God bless Kirsten.
Yes.
Do we want to do one more?
Let's find one more. The inside of my ears are tingling because of the headphones. Woo! From my pre-workout.
The doctor told me that that the muscle relaxers are not going to do anything to my my brain, but they will slow my reaction times. So that should be fun.
Well, can you take both? A
No.
Klonopin animal. Because that was what I
He
was
told me specifically no.
Because that's what I was imagining. I was like, you will simply become a potato.
He goes,
and I
he
would
goes,
also, you know what you should put on your Patreon? Klonopin content. Or Klonopin and muscle relaxer content. That's what the people want to see.
just me sleeping.
Okay.
He's like, you will sleep so hard.
What a treat, though. A deep sleep.
It's true.
My face hurts from laughing this episode.
My ribs hurt.
Well, your ribs already hurt.
How to cook on a grill, how to walk in high heels, and where exactly Europe, France is. Where exactly in Europe, France is.
I was like, if you left it at Europe, France, I'm like,
Wait,
well,
we have a place to start. That's what I was talking about, like Clinique, when they posted. Oh God, what is his name? It's just a male makeup creator. I forget. It's Trevor Barrett, and all the comments were like, "Men don't need to wear. Men shouldn't be wearing makeup. This is crazy." And I was like, "I've got some bad news for you, Mary."
I'm surprised Clinique isn't an MLM. Think about it.
Just because they're so old.
Yeah.
They're like Mary Kay.
Yeah. Same vibes.
Yeah. Same
And
vibes,
when I
similar
used to
vibes.
work at Sephora, young people would come in and be like, my mom always used Clinique. Show me some Clinique. And like, no one was buying Clinique anymore. So our bay was like teeny tiny. I'm like, that's it.
They don't carry it anymore, do they?
Sephora? I don't know. I mean, this was 2
I think
years ago
Ulta does, yeah.
when I worked there. So
I love how to walk in high heels though, because same. I would love to think of myself as being this very graceful individual who can, like I've said before, really like exist in a lot of spaces. But let me tell you, I don't own high heels because they give me away.
I love a high heel. Of course I do. Of course I do. I'm a capital FAG. Of course I can walk in a high heel.
It's only through, it's like through you that I've learned like baguette as a me.
Yeah.
As an emoji. I'm just like,
if you ever see a cigarette, it's the same thing.
oh yeah, of course,
yeah.
Or a pile of sticks.
Is that an emoji?
My friend just uses the word pile of sticks.
Oh.
Yeah. My friend Briar.
See, I try not to some people get really uncomfortable when you refer to yourself as that very confidently.
Right.
And so that's why I think that's why people have come up with these other terms. It's to protect the other people. It's not to protect me.
Absolutely.
No, but if I just drop the F slur, people go.
Did you just say it's not to protect we?
I didn't, but now I did. Walking in high heels, it's just it's an attitude more than it is a skill.
Oh, it's like more about faking it till you make it?
Absolutely. It's just I do walk in heels. I walk in heels. I strut in
fall in heels.
No, see, you've already gone wrong. You can't. And then also when you're wearing heels for a lengthy period of time, your feet do not hurt. You just don't have feet anymore. They're not there.
Ow, Tom!
They're just no longer feet. They're not attached. But there is something that I found out that was weird about me while me and Tiffany were watching Survivor. They were doing this thing where they were standing on very small, their feet were half on these ledges and they got small. It was like an endurance test, right? So they got smaller. And I was like, I think I'd like that because I would like the way that pain felt on my feet. And Tiffany was like, what? I was like, yeah, you know how if you wear heels for a really long time and you take them off at the end of the day and your feet just kind of throb and they're just you can't really use them because they hurt so bad. Tiffany was like, you like that? And I was like,
you're like, just me?
Just me. Just me. But it's not, because it sounds like you could very easily make a joke that it's a sexual thing. That's not it. It's just there's something about it, that it's it's akin to me, if you pull your hair up in a ponytail way too tight for a long period of time and you let it go and your scalp kind of hurts, but it also feels good. That's the feeling, but just on
or you take off your socks and you scratch where they were.
Ugh.
It's almost like the smell of gasoline.
It is almost like the smell of gasoline. You shouldn't like it, but you do.
Exactly. Maybe that'll be another episode, y'all. Things that you shouldn't like. Boy, we might get into some Hey, it's Dumb Bitch Hour. Let's fucking go.
I mean, that's what we're here to do, right?
It's right. That's why we're on Patreon. Like, we're
Yeah.
not out here trying to, like, I don't know, be completely, like, family friendly. This isn't Alton Brown.
Alton Brown.
Oh, Alton Brown is like a close personal friend of my sister.
Is he?
Yeah. I think he wrote the foreword for her forthcoming book or something. I don't know.
Your sister writes books. I'm so sorry.
About oysters.
I don't know. I just learned her name today, and all of these things are like. Oh.
Ow! Ah!
You told
I
me
need to
her
go to
name,
the
and I was like,
drugstore.
of course that's her name. Of course that's her name. Goodness, we have to go. We're so loopy.
I have to go. Well, yeah, you've had pre-workout, and I need to go get those muscle
Yeah, I can't.
relaxers. I'm actually
I
dying.
can't feel my face anymore. Anyway, thank you so much for listening and participating in Dumb Bitch Hour. We're so glad I'm so glad that you guys all join us on this bimbo journey.
Thank you so much for being
Thank
our fellow bimbos. And yeah, we're signing off. We'll see y'all on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.